Oh, hi there. Hi. I have something to show you. I think you're going to like it. Oh, not that. That is cute, isn't it? That was for my daughter's birthday. No, I have something a little more super serial to show you. Okay? You know what it is yet? What am I grabbing for? Is the anticipation? Boom! Let's talk about the Prepper Library. As you can see behind me, I have lots of books. This isn't even half of them. I love books. I love them a little too much, I think. I spend quite a bit of money on books, not just for me, but also for my kids. I homeschool my kids, so we love books and we love to have books. They have a whole bookshelf with books on them in their rooms. I'm also going to talk about some media stuff, not just books, but also like when we're talking about a library, I'm going to be talking about some music and some other stuff too. So hang on to your britches. Let's go. Did I just say britches? Okay. Hey everyone, Morgan here. So the Prepper Library, I really like having a variety of books, even of things that I don't necessarily think I'm going to be using right away. Like, this is a whole growing plant medicine book. I love medicinal herbs and growing plants and all these kinds of things. I love learning about herbs and that kind of thing. Look at this. This is the greenhouse and the shade house. Oh, I love books like that. Makes me so excited. But okay, so anything on medicinal herbs. I have a lot of cookbooks. I'm getting all sorts of cookbooks. And when you get cookbooks, when you are actually cooking from the books and that kind of thing, you're realizing certain things, recipes and things, meals that you like, and then you're going to store the food from those recipes and things. So find cookbooks that you like. This is a good one. I'm learning a lot about blue zones lately and cooking more from blue zones and things like that. This is a great recipe book. I absolutely love it. This is one of my absolute favorite books, the Prepared Family Cookbook. It has so many fantastic recipes that I've used a lot. I like this one too, 366 Delicious Ways to Cook Rice, Beans, and Grains, because, let's face it, preppers store a lot of rice and beans and grains. Okay. So I do store a lot of herbal recipe books, soap books, tincture books, herbal recipes, anything to make herbal, anything. I have a bunch of books about this. And then as I go through and I'm like, okay, I want to make this, I then stock up on those supplies. So I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm going to want to make this type of tincture or this type of salve. So I'm always going to have those herbs, or I'm going to grow those herbs, or whatever the case may be. Herbs can last forever if they're kept in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, cool, dark place, stuff like that. So I'm never worried about, having herbs for a long period of time. And I buy them in bulk, like 1 pound or larger bags. Foraging books. I have a ton of foraging books. You should get foraging books specifically to you and your area, okay? But I really like him. I like Meriwether Forager, Mark. But his books are fantastic. I highly recommend any of his, but I do recommend books for your specific area. So I have this one for Texas. When I was in Alaska, I had books for Alaska. When I was in Arizona, I had them for Arizona, okay? So try to have them, like if you're in the Northwest, have them for the Northwest. There's Midwest books. There's usually books for every state. Make sure that you are looking at reputable people. This is a reputable person, a real life person, not AI generated. It's really important these days, especially with foraging and herbs and wild edibles and anything like that, because there's lots of misinformation, especially through AI. So definitely find a reputable source, a reputable forager. And there's books like this. Oh my gosh, where did this come from? This is my book, The Resilient Pantry. Learn how to be prepared. The Prepper's Blueprint for Long-Term Food and Water Storage. This is a great one for your shelf. Has all sorts of things, DIY recipes on how to do all sorts of things. How to make pemmican. Pemmican's absolutely disgusting, but you could make it. I talk about all sorts of things in this book. Highly recommend getting this. This is going to be linked down below. Okay, books like this, like Back to Basics. Absolutely everyone has to have this book. I think everyone. This is it's a backyard guide. Like it's not, it's a guide to traditional skills. I love it. I've gone through this and I get excited. It's like regional cooking, the splendid variety of bountiful land, gluten-free baking. Like it does talk a lot about cooking. Okay, but it talks about other things. Okay, like, oh, this alcohol as fuel. Look at this. Energy sources, atomic. So cool. I get excited about this stuff. I do have like just a lot of books for kids. You know, like we have these kids classic books. We have a lot, like I said, a lot of homeschooling books. We get new ones every year for different grades, you know, as they, increase. But we have just a lot of books. My kids love going to the bookstore and picking out new books. Whenever we go, they pick out several. We have a half price books here, so they always get like a ton of books, and so do I. I have funny books like this, The Babylon Bee, The Guide to the Apocalypse, funny stuff. I have books like this, The Native American Survival Skills. I love books like this that tells me more like ancient skills, things like that. Where There Is No Dentist and Where There Is No Doctor. I don't know why I don't have the Where There Is No Doctor book. I thought I did, but I guess not. Anyway, Where There Is No Dentist and Where There Is No Doctor, fantastic books. Any first aid books. I showed this in the first aid one. My bookshelf is not just like survival and preparedness books. It's a lot of fiction, nonfiction, just books that I really enjoy. Like I've said repeatedly, the homeschooling books, books on history, things like that can help us learn and educate. But we are kind of nerds, so we have like some comic books and things like that. I believe in DVDs. We have ways to watch DVDs. There are little battery-powered DVD players. You can watch them on like your PlayStation. You can watch them on your computer if you have a DVD. Like we actually had to get an external DVD drive for our computers, but it was worth it. But we have lots of DVDs. I think that's an important part of your library as well. Something that we're also working towards is getting more music on DVDs or simply downloading music. Music is a big part of our lives, and I think it's a big part of lots of people's lives. But not just downloading music and having them, physical copies of the music. I'm talking about like getting songs downloaded physically onto your computer, not I'm just going to have it on Spotify and listen to Spotify, because when Spotify is gone, it's gone. You need those physical copies. Whenever you rent or buy a digital movie, that's not yours. It can be taken away at any time. You need the physical copies of things. I have shown and talked about this a lot, but again, physical copies of things. This is a binder that I have downloaded. It came undone, but this is, I don't know, one day like it fell and like it all came undone. Anyway, this is a physical copy of things like, I have like clover and white chocolate cookies because I had a bunch of clover at one time and I wanted to make stuff with it. Just like if you have thought about a recipe, a DIY, a how-to, print it and put it in a binder. Okay, get the protective sleeves, put it in a binder, and then you have all of these resources, physical copies of things. Okay, card games, board games, all types of games, physical games that we can all play. Crafts, I think that's super important. I know we're talking about like a library, but I'm thinking like a library of things that can help us with our knowledge as well as entertainment as well. Notebooks, so you can write your own, notes and things, pens, papers, things like that, pencils. Yeah, so get the physical copies of things that could be digital. The music, the videos, movies, buy them, download them, whatever, and have them physically. Like we got a CD-ROM drive so that we could, and a bunch of blank CDs so that we could have the physical music on those drives, and then we have ways to listen to it, that kind of thing. You can put it on USB drives. You can do whatever you need to do in order to have physical copies of these things that you can access later. And in addition to music, this is kind of part of the library, but like have actual musical instruments, have like a piano, a violin, whatever. Like our kids are getting very into music lately. So like I got my middle child like a little DJ set and she really likes that. My baby is really into this little baby drum set. My oldest is getting into piano and violin. Like, music is a huge part of life and our history, and people have been doing music for a long time. So it's the books, it's the music, it's the entertainment, it's the movies, it's the all sorts of these things have a physical copies of these things. So I hope you're downloading the 30 Days to Ready. I will try to link some of these books, but if you see anything or want a specific link to any books that I may have, please let me know. Or if you want suggestions to books, please let me know in the comments and I will link you directly to the books that I love in whatever category. Thank you so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing today. I will see y'all later. Bye.